Welcome back, everyone, to Grifter or Gifted.
Thanks for having me.
Today, we're diving deep into the life and career of Kevin Spacey.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be.
This is a deep one.
He went from, being at the top of Hollywood to facing some serious accusations. His career just tanked, and then recently, a legal victory.
Yeah.
It's a lot to unpack. So we're going to try to do our best to unpack one of the most, I think, complicated figures in modern entertainment.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, the contrast,
Yeah.
between his incredible talent and these accusations against him. And it's something that comes up time and time again.
Yeah.
We see it with a lot of people.
Right.
Can we separate the art from the artist?
Right, and that's what this show is all about.
That's exactly right.
Grifter or Gifted.
Yeah.
And we're all familiar with Spacey's kind of chilling performances in films like Seven
Oh, yeah.
and The Usual Suspects.
Some of the all-time greats.
I know. And it's like his commitment to method acting was legendary.
Yeah.
He would practically disappear into these roles.
He just inhabited them.
But then these allegations of sexual misconduct emerge,
Yeah.
and it paints such a different picture of him.
Totally.
It makes you wonder if, were we all just caught up in his performance?
Yeah, it really raises some questions.
Yeah.
And I think to understand the story, we have to start from the very beginning.
Okay, let's do it.
Spacey's childhood was really far from idyllic.
Okay.
His father was described as abusive and a neo-Nazi.
Wow.
So that's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, that's really, really intense. I
Yeah.
mean, it really makes you think about how
It does.
such an upbringing might have impacted his life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really shapes you.
Do you think it shaped his path in some way?
It's really hard to say for sure,
All right.
but it's definitely relevant.
Yeah.
But despite all of this, Spacey actually found his footing in the theater world.
Okay, interesting. So he was a theater guy originally.
Yeah, and very successfully.
Wow.
He actually earned a Tony Award for Lost in Yonkers,
Okay.
and eventually became the artistic director of the Old Vic Theatre in London.
So he was already a celebrated actor
Oh, yeah.
before making it big in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, and when he got to Hollywood, it was massive success right from the get-go.
Yeah, he was in everything.
Jesus.
American Beauty,
Ah.
The Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Like every great movie.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because he was consistently drawn to these really complex characters.
Yes, he was great at playing the villain.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah.
Often the villain.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, did his ability to embody this darkness on screen, did that mask something darker
Ooh.
in his personal life?
Yeah.
And that's where the story takes a dramatic turn.
All right.
In 2017, actor Anthony Rapp came forward
Okay.
with these allegations of sexual misconduct against Spacey.
Right, and it wasn't just rap, right?
No, you're absolutely right. It was multiple people from the industry, actors, crew members. They came forward with similar accusations. And some of these accusations date back decades.
Wow.
Yeah. Rapp's allegations were particularly shocking because
Okay.
he claims Spacey made advances towards him when he was only 14 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So that sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond.
The big deal.
And then Spacey's response to these accusations added another layer of complexity.
Oh, yeah?
He issued this apology to Rapp,
Okay.
but he chose to come out as gay
What?
in the same statement.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's strange.
A lot of people felt that this was a calculated attempt to deflect from these allegations
Okay.
and to conflate homosexuality with sexual assault.
Hmm.
And it really backfired. It
Yeah.
caused more damage to his public image.
Yeah, it seemed like a PR disaster.
It did.
Yeah.
And the fallout from that was immediate and really severe.
Yeah.
He was fired from House of Cards.
Of course, yeah.
He was dropped from films. He was hit with lawsuits.
Yeah, his career just completely...
Disintegrated.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was catastrophic.
And House of Cards was such a big deal.
Huge.
And he was not only the star of that show, he was also producing it.
Yeah, he had a lot of control over that show.
Wow. That's a lot to lose overnight.
Yeah.
So not to mention
Yeah.
the financial hit he took.
Oh, my God.
He was ordered to pay a $31 million settlement
Yeah.
to the production company for breach of contract.
I mean, that
It
is...
was-
It's
right.
not just a slap on the wrist. That is like
Yeah, that's a whole arm.
a whole arm.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, you can't downplay the financial repercussions of these allegations.
No, absolutely not.
Wow, okay, so what about the criminal charges?
Oh,
Did any of those allegations stick?
There were investigations and a civil trial that was brought by RAF.
Okay.
But Spacey was actually found not liable in that case.
Okay.
He was ordered to pay damages in a separate case, though.
Okay.
And then in 2023, a big turning point.
Okay.
Spacey faced a series of sexual assault charges in the UK.
Yeah. I remember that this was the big one.
This was the one everybody was watching.
Everyone was talking about it.
And Spacey maintained his innocence throughout the trial and was ultimately acquitted on all charges.
Wow.
And so this really threw fuel on an already raging fire. The debate over separating the art from the artist.
Right.
Can we still appreciate his work?
Right. Can we or should we?
Should we?
Yeah.
You know, knowing about these allegations.
It's a huge question. Like,
It is.
where do we draw the line?
Yeah. Where do we draw the line?
Do we just, like, erase someone's entire contribution
Right.
based on accusations?
Or do we hold space for nuance?
Yeah.
It's a question society's wrestling with.
Yeah, it is.
And it makes it even more complicated.
Okay.
Because now Spacey is actively trying to stage a comeback.
Yeah, he is.
New film roles, appearances at film festivals, lectures.
He's not going down without a fight.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a bold move. And it raises another question. Will audiences welcome him back?
Ooh, good question.
Can he rebuild his reputation? Or will the shadow of these allegations follow him forever?
Right. And that's what we're going to try to figure out.
Right, that's what we're here for.
Okay, so stay tuned.
All right.
As we unpack the specifics of those allegations and the impact they've had on his career and his legacy.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And it's really important to understand that these weren't just isolated incidents.
Right.
They came from multiple individuals.
Yeah.
And spanning decades.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So the sheer volume and consistency of these accounts,
Yeah.
it's a pretty troubling picture. It raises questions about a potential pattern of behavior.
Yeah, you're right. And these are serious accusations.
They are.
From people who interacted with Spacey professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And some have even shared their stories very publicly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about what happened, but also when it happened.
That's right.
Some of these incidents allegedly took place while Spacey was, like, at the helm
Yeah.
of the Old Vic Theatre in London,
Mm-hmm.
which is, you know, a position of considerable power and influence.
Absolutely. I mean, you would think someone in that kind of position, someone who's responsible for shaping the careers of young actors,
Right.
would be more cautious, more aware of the potential consequences
You would think so.
of their actions.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, was there a culture of enabling around Spacey?
It's a really good question.
Did his talent and his status kind of shield him,
Mm-hmm.
making people hesitant to speak up?
Yeah, it's a question that's been around Hollywood for years.
Yeah.
Did people turn a blind eye?
Yeah.
Because of his success, his ability to draw in audiences and awards?
It's a tough question.
It's disturbing to think about.
It's really disturbing.
And it really highlights the bravery
Yes.
of those who do come forward.
Yeah.
You know, they risk their careers,
Absolutely.
their reputations,
Yeah, they face a lot of scrutiny.
and backlash.
Yeah, for sure.
So their stories need to be heard and believed.
They do. Okay, so let's kind of delve a little deeper into Spacey's response
Okay.
to these allegations.
Yeah.
We talked about how his decision to come out as gay in the same statement
Right.
where he addressed Anthony Rapp's accusations was, like, met with a lot of criticism.
It was.
Like, what made that move so problematic?
It felt very calculated,
Okay.
like a diversionary tactic.
Okay.
By conflating his sexuality with the allegations of sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of muddied the waters,
Yeah.
potentially alienating the LGBT community
Right.
and those who were demanding accountability.
It seemed like he was trying to shift the focus
Yeah.
away from the accusations and garner sympathy,
Exactly.
which ultimately backfired.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Big time. And the consequences were, as we said, immediate and severe.
Yeah.
Losing his role in House of Cards was huge.
Massive.
Remember, he wasn't just the star.
Right.
He was the producer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of power and influence to lose overnight.
Totally. And not to mention that huge financial hit. Like, he was ordered to pay that $31 million
Yeah.
to the production company.
It was a landmark ruling.
It was.
It showed that Hollywood was starting to take these allegations
Mhm.
more seriously.
Yeah.
And that even A-list stars could be held accountable for their actions,
Yeah.
even financially.
Yeah. But the repercussions extended beyond House of Cards.
Yeah.
He was also dropped from other films.
He was.
He faced numerous lawsuits.
Mhm.
Like, his career went from thriving to practically non-existent.
It disintegrated.
Overnight.
It just shows you these allegations have real-world consequences.
Yeah.
Reputations, careers, finances.
It's serious.
But it's really important to remember that the impact goes beyond the accused.
Mm-hmm.
What about the alleged victims?
Right.
Their trauma, their courage in coming forward.
This is a big deal.
These stories are really at the heart of the #MeToo movement.
They are.
And the much-needed reckoning in Hollywood.
And beyond.
And beyond.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Their voices need to be heard.
They do.
So let's talk about the legal battles.
Okay.
You mentioned he was found not liable in the civil case brought by Anthony Rapp.
Right.
And later acquitted of the sexual assault charges in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we reconcile those legal victories with the weight of the allegations?
It's a really complicated issue.
Yeah, it is.
People see those legal outcomes as vindication, proof that he was wrongly accused.
Okay.
But others argue that they don't erase the damage or invalidate the experiences of those who came forward.
So where does this leave us?
I don't know.
Spacey was cleared in court.
Yeah.
But his reputation is still very much tarnished.
It is.
In the eyes of many.
Mm-hmm.
So can we separate the art from the artist?
The big question.
Can we appreciate his performances while acknowledging the gravity of the accusations against him?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one that each individual has to grapple with.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer.
No.
Some may choose to boycott his work, believing that any support condones his alleged actions.
Right.
Others may feel like they can separate the art from the artist, appreciate his talent, while recognizing his flaws.
And both perspectives are valid.
Totally.
But this conversation extends beyond Kevin Spacey.
It does.
It reflects a larger cultural shift.
Yeah, it is.
Where we're reevaluating the legacies of powerful figures.
Mm-hmm.
Do their contributions outweigh their transgressions?
Right.
It forces us to confront some really uncomfortable truths.
It does.
About fame and human behavior.
Yeah.
And that blurry line.
It's so blurry.
Between admiration and accountability.
It's fascinating and challenging.
It is.
Before we move on to the final chapter of Spacey's story, his attempts at a comeback.
Yes.
What has struck you the most about this case so far?
Honestly, it's the contrast between his very carefully crafted public persona and this darkness lurking beneath the surface.
Yeah.
It's like a real-life Jekyll and Hyde story, you know?
It is. It's uncanny.
On one hand, you have this incredibly talented actor.
Yeah.
Captivating audiences with charisma and dedication to his craft.
He's magnetic.
But then on the other hand, you have these disturbing allegations of predatory behavior.
Of someone using their power.
And influence.
To exploit others.
Yeah, and it's a chilling reminder.
It is.
That we never really know what goes on behind closed doors.
We don't.
Even with those we think we know through their work.
Exactly, and it begs the question.
Yeah.
Do we as consumers of art and entertainment have a responsibility to delve deeper into the lives of those we admire?
Ooh, that's tough.
Should we be holding them to a higher standard?
That's a tough one. Where do we draw the line?
It is a slippery slope.
Between curiosity and judgment. Between respecting privacy and holding them accountable for their actions.
Absolutely.
It's a tough one.
It is, and it's something we're going to continue to explore.
Yes.
As we delve into the final part of Spacey's story. These comeback attempts raise even more questions about redemption and forgiveness.
Yeah.
And the possibility of second chances.
Welcome back to Grifter or Gifted.
We're in the final act now.
Yes, we are.
Of the Kevin Spacey saga.
We've been kind of examining the journey of Kevin Spacey from his huge rise to the top of Hollywood to his dramatic fall from grace.
It is dramatic.
And those recent legal battles. It's been a lot.
Yeah, it has.
And his story is it's really captivated the public.
It has.
And forced us to confront some really uncomfortable questions.
Yeah, like fame and accountability, that blurry line between genius and transgression.
Ugh, it's so blurry.
It is really blurry.
So in this final act, we're going to explore Spacey's attempts at a comeback.
Yeah.
In the wake of all of these allegations and his recent acquittal.
Yeah, it really is like a plot twist in one of his movies.
It is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like he was virtually blacklisted from Hollywood, and he's slowly starting to reemerge. He's taking on these smaller roles, appearing at film festivals, giving lectures.
He's testing the waters.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Seeing if the public is ready to accept him again.
Do you think he genuinely believes?
I don't know. It's hard to say what his true motivations are.
Right.
But one thing's clear.
Yeah.
He's not going down without a fight.
No, he's not.
He's been engaging with the media, doing interviews, even speaking out against what he calls cancel culture.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
His appearance at Oxford last year was really interesting.
Yes, it was very controversial.
It was.
He got a standing ovation.
He did.
Which sparked so much debate.
Oh, yeah.
Some people saw it as a sign of his resilience, like his ability to still connect with people despite the controversy. Others saw it as kind of a slap in the face to his accusers.
Right.
And like a blatant attempt to manipulate public opinion.
It was definitely a polarizing event.
It was.
It exposed these deep divisions in how people view Spacey. Right. And it really highlighted those complex questions surrounding redemption. Can someone be accused of such serious misconduct and ever truly be forgiven and welcomed back?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like he's trying to control the narrative. Like he's trying to present himself as a victim of cancel culture, rather than taking responsibility for his actions.
Yeah, and his recent comments about the allegations.
Yeah, they've been kind of evasive.
They have. He admits to making mistakes, you know, having flaws, but he stops short of addressing the specific accusations head on.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to rub some people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Especially those who feel like he needs to show more remorse if he wants any kind of forgiveness.
But his supporters argue that he was cleared in court.
Right.
So why should he have to apologize?
Exactly why apologize for something he was found not guilty of.
Right. So it's tough.
It is a very complex situation with strong arguments on both sides.
Yeah.
And there's no easy answer to the question of whether someone can come back from this.
From a scandal of this magnitude.
Yeah.
So it seems like it really just boils down to personal choice.
It does.
Some people will choose to boycott his work.
Yeah, thinking that any support is condoning his actions.
Right. And others will separate the art from the artist and appreciate his talent while acknowledging the flaws.
Right.
And both perspectives are valid.
I think so. I think so, too.
And that brings us back to that central question
of
grifter or gifted.
Right.
Can we reconcile his undeniable talent with these very serious allegations?
Or are they just, like you said, inextricably intertwined?
Yeah. It's a question each of us has to answer for ourselves.
I agree. There's no right or wrong answer.
No.
But it's a conversation we need to have.
We do. And we need to be mindful of the power dynamics at play here.
Yes, absolutely.
The potential for harm, the importance of believing survivors. Yes, their stories need to be heard.
They do.
This Kevin Spacey story is it's a reminder.
A stark reminder.
That the world of fame and entertainment, it's not always glamorous.
No, it's not.
It can be a world where charisma and controversy collide.
They do.
And separating the visionary from the con artist can be really difficult.
Very, very difficult.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale for sure.
It is.
It's a reminder that we can be both captivated by talent and horrified by alleged actions.
It's true. And as we've seen, the story's not over yet.
It's not.
We'll see if Spacey can truly rebuild his career and his reputation.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, but I think this case is going to continue to spark debate.
Oh, for sure.
About accountability, redemption, the complexities of human behavior.
Yeah, it's been fascinating.
It has.
And unsettling at times.
Yeah, for sure.
To explore this whole story.
It's been a wild ride.
It has.
And it's not over yet.
So I hope it's encouraged you to consider all these questions.
Yeah.
And form your own conclusion. Because ultimately, grifter or gifted?
It's a tough one.
The answer is far from simple.
It really is.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
On this deep dive into Kevin Spacey.
Happy to be here.
We'll be back soon.
All right.
With another deep dive into the life of a polarizing figure.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
Sounds good.
Until then, stay curious and keep asking those tough questions.
Absolutely.